This NBA season has been really exciting, to say the least, man. A lot of stuff has been going on this whole NBA season, whether it's the Cavs and the Grizzlies showing everybody how to do a real rebuild, the Lakers being the laughingstock of the league, and all these players going out with COVID protocols and stuff. It's been really exciting. But the one thing that can take it to another level is a super entertaining trade deadline. We haven't had one in a minute. And I'm just going to come here with y'all and name a player that every team in the East will target. So let's get straight into it. So the first team that we are going to start with today is the Chicago Bulls. So when I look at the Chicago Bulls, the first thing I notice that they don't have is height. The only player they have over 7 foot is Nikola Vucevic. You even have games where they're starting Javonte Green at the 4, even Alex Caruso at the 4. And that's because they don't have their starting power forward, Patrick Williams, who's going to be out, I believe, the whole year, or at least going into the playoffs. So they don't really have a lot of height. So my thought was they need to trade for some height. They can't trade for Thaddeus Young. That was my first thought because they traded him this offseason. So I thought of a player that's kind of like Thaddeus Young, a versatile player that can shoot the ball, a decent playmaker, and really versatile on defense. Larry Ness. Larry Ness will fit perfect with this team because he doesn't really need the ball. He can play all ball next to your stars. He can shoot the ball. A really good playmaker, plays the passing lanes on defense, can switch on to some guards on defense, and he will really help this team out, especially next to Vucevic, who doesn't really do that much on defense. So the only thing you would need for this trade will be Troy Brown Jr., Marcos Simonic, and a second-round pick for Larry Ness, and another second-round pick. Basically swapping out second-round picks, and then you get the better player out of the whole trade, and that will help this team out going into the playoffs because they don't really have that player that can guard that other star on the other side of the ball, like the Giannis's, like the KDs, like the Jimmy Butler's, Bam Adebayo's. They don't really have that. And I'm not saying Larry Ness is that, but I'm saying he has a better chance than anybody else on the court. So that's it for them. Next team, we're doing this as the Eastern Conference standings right now, so the Bulls are number 1 in the East. Next team is the Heat. The Heat was really hard. The Heat kind of have everything. And I'm going to have a video about them later on this week. The Heat kind of have everything. They have the shooting, they have the scoring, they have the defense, they have everything. So I was like, you know what? Get more scoring, get more shooting. Terence Ross. Terence Ross fits with this team. Just another player off the bench that can shoot, play off Tyler Hero, play off the rest of the stars, and I feel like he'll fit perfectly with this team. Terrence Ross has had a lot of big games this season. In the past few weeks, he's been averaging 20 points. Completely having fun over there in Orlando with nobody in front of him. But I feel like he will be really good on this team. He'll be really good on a lot of other teams in the league. And I'm going to talk about him next video when I talk about the West because I have him going to a lot of teams in the West. But as of right now, I have him going to the Heat. That would be a really good trade. I didn't draw up the trade for that one. I kind of forgot about that. But next, we are going to the Nets. This is one of my favorites. Another thing, just like the Bulls, is they need height. They don't have height at all. I think, if I'm not mistaken, KD is their biggest player on the team. Their starting 5 at times is Marcus Aldridge. The past few weeks has been Day'Ron Sharpe. And then sometimes it has been Kevin Durant. They don't have height. And a player that's he's going to be on the trade market because he is a free agent this offseason, Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher would be a perfect piece, not only to put with this team, but to put next to Harden in that pick and roll. And that pick and roll, that can be really fun because he can be a lob threat, and he can be a guy that can go behind the three-point line and shoot it off the pick and roll. He will help this team out a lot on the offensive side of the ball. Then on the defensive side of the ball, I'm not saying he's a good defender at all. He's kind of weak on the defensive side. But when it comes to shot blocking, that's something that they don't have at all. He's a really good shot blocker. And he's a really good versatile defender, can guard 3 through 5. And he will help this team out a lot because the one thing that they're lacking is defense. But the crazy thing is, I don't know if y'all know, the Brooklyn Nets have a top 10 defense. I seen this yesterday. I was kind of confused. But they have a top 10 defense. But Chris Boucher on this team will help them out a lot, especially when they're going against other bigs. And they're going to need help with that a lot. Next team is my boys, my Cavs. The way we've been playing lately, I don't know if I want to mess it up. But this is a video about a trade for each team. So our biggest needs are wings and a bench playmaker because other than that, we don't really have that. But Rondo's been hurt, so hopefully when he comes back, we'll have that. So I'm not going to say we need a guard. I'm going to say we need more wings, and I'm going to go with Caris LeVert. That's a trade that I talked about before that everybody's been talking about the past few weeks. Caris LeVert fits with us not only as of right now, but for the timeline. Caris LeVert's only 27 years old. He'll be the oldest piece in our young core, but that's still kind of young, entering his prime. A secondary ball handler. One thing about Caris LeVert that doesn't really get talked about enough is his playmaking. I feel like he's a really good playmaker, and then you have him with our 3 7-footers. The playmaking can be maxed out for him. And like I said, he fits in our rebuild. He's going to be able to play off Darius Garland. That's one thing I'm really looking forward to seeing if he's traded to us, to see if he can play off Darius Garland going forward. Not just this season, but going forward, because he is a player that has 2 or 3 more years left on his contract. And I feel like he'll just fit really well with this team, man. And I really hope we get that trade done. I'm not going to lie. I'm a big Caris LeVert guy. I made a whole video about Caris LeVert a couple months ago. Next, at the 5th seed, Milwaukee Bucks. They tried with George Hill. It's not working. George Hill's playing completely terrible. God awful. He's playing god awful. And the one thing that they need to address is a backup point guard. Now, this might be a little lazy. Don't get me wrong. This might be a little lazy. I have them trading for Aaron Holiday. Drew Holiday's little brother. Might be a little lazy. They're trading Semi Ojeleye, George Hill's 2nd-round pick for Aaron Holiday. But Aaron Holiday fits with this team. A really good defender, a decent shooter. He's actually shooting 38% from the field. From 3. I did not know that. A really good shooter. And plays with Drew. That'll be fun. They don't really need that much. I've been saying this for the longest time. At full strength, I still think the Bucks are the best team in the league. So they don't really need that much. And just Aaron Holiday will come there and help. And they can even go out there and get the other brother. Go get Justin. Justin will help more than Aaron, if I'm being honest. Justin has a torch. They need more torches. Now, for this next one, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, for the past few months, the 76ers have been telling people they want, not even the past few months, actually, the past year and a half, they've been telling people for Ben Simmons they want a James Harden caliber type player, Damian Lillard caliber type player, Bradley Beal, CJ McCollum. Who else? They said Shea, De'Aaron Fox. But for me, one of my favorite YouTubers, the reason why I started this podcast, People to Plug, he opened my eyes. He opened my eyes a long time ago about this player. But in this video, he said something so perfectly about this player. The player is Anthony Simmons, if you don't know. He said it so perfectly. I don't want to say what he said. Just watch, and we'll talk about it after.
Simmons. So what I'm suggesting is that Daryl Morey in Philly do something similar to what he did a few years ago in Houston when he took a chance with James Harden and bet on a 6th man of the year and put him in a situation to spread his wings and become an MVP caliber player season in and season out, and ultimately allow Houston to see success that they hadn't seen in a very long time. They were games away from going to the NBA Finals. I know Anthony Simmons isn't 6th man of the year. He hasn't shown the amount of potential that James Harden has showed in OKC. But from what we've seen this year and what I'm about to show you guys, this guy is the real.
Yeah, so like Pierre said, Daryl Morey has done this before. He traded for Harden when Harden was a 6th man. He bet on the potential, and then look where it went. Now Harden's a superstar. He's not there no more. Neither one of them are there no more. But they got a lot of wins on that team, made a lot of money on that team, went to the conference finals a couple of times on that team. I think Anthony Simmons has the potential to do it again. I think if Daryl Morey was to make that trade, I don't think he would be disappointed. And then when you look at the pieces you get around when you have that trade. When you have that trade, you're trading Anthony Simmons along with Norman Powell, along with Larry Ness, and a 1st-round pick. And you get Ben Simmons back. That's a good trade for both teams. You have a lineup of Anthony Simmons, Seth Curry, Norman Powell, Tobias. Actually, I would put Tobias at the 3, have Larry Nance start at the 4. Then you have Joel Embiid. Then off the bench, you have what do you have off the bench? Tyrese Maxey. I was forgetting for a little bit. You have Tyrese Maxey, Shake Milton, Danny Green. You have a deeper bench, but Matisse Thybulle and all the boys. You have a deeper bench, but in that starting lineup, give Joel Embiid something that he's never really had. A point guard that you have to focus on too, instead of just doubling off of Joel Embiid the whole time. You got to focus on Anthony Simons when it comes to the three-point shot, when it comes to attacking the basket. He is a former slam dunk champion, so he will boom on you. He is a really tough finisher. He has a lot of athleticism when it comes to finishing. He's a really good playmaker. If you watch my Anthony Simons video I did a couple weeks ago, I didn't even know his playmaking was that good. He has really good playmaking. A really good pick-and-roll player that you could put next to him with Joel Embiid, and you can run that little two-man pick-and-roll that they used to do with J.J. Redick. That would just be way better because Anthony Simons can do more than J.J. Redick. J.J. Redick off that two-man pick-and-roll was shooting the ball. This time, you got Anthony Simons who can create a shot off that pick-and-roll, did better passing than J.J. Redick off that pick-and-roll. That would just fit better instead of just waiting to find a home run for Ben Simmons when it's not going to be there. Damian Lillard doesn't want to get traded. Bradley Beal's going to wait until he gets this Supermax. CJ McCollum, you don't want CJ McCollum. Anthony Simons is a star to make it. I think they would be better off trading for him than anybody else. Anybody else, because he just fits better. In my opinion, he fits better than anybody else that they're trying to trade for. So, I think that's the trade for them. Next, we have the Hornets. Now, the Hornets, you all know what they need. They've been needing this for years, even before LaMelo was there. They need bigs, too. A lot of these teams on the East need bigs. This team is starting to Mason Plumlee. I thought Mason Plumlee was going to work out with this team. I was ever so wrong. He's not working out at all. They need bigs with this team, so I'm thinking they should go out there and trade from Obama, who is a player that needs to get paid at the end of the season. And I feel like he'll fit well with this young core, a decent shot blocker. And this highlight clips I'm showing you behind me while I'm talking, Mo Bamba is literally dominating on defense. That's something they need. They don't really have a good defense. And I'm not saying he's out here acting like a defensive anchor, but I feel like you can tap into that. A really good pick-and-roll player next to LaMelo if they was to trade for him. Being able to spread the floor, go up there for lobs. I feel like he'll fit perfectly with this team. And then for the Magic, you're getting a really good return in there. You're getting P.J. Washington, Ish Smith in the second-round pick. You can bet on it, P.J. Washington, put him at the 4, put Wendell Carter at the 5, and then you're still rolling. You're still young. So I feel like it's a really good trade for both teams. I really want that trade to happen. That's one of the trades on this list that I really, really want to happen. Next, we got the Wizards. Just go get Ben Simmons. And this is really unrealistic because when I was looking at the Wizards, I was like, what do they need? Because I don't know what they're doing. Do they want to make the playoffs? Do they not? I mean, I'm assuming they do because they have so much depth. So I'm like, bro, I don't know what they need. So I was like, you know what? Just go out there and get Ben Simmons. Just do Bradley Beal for Ben Simmons. Just do it, please, because I'm tired of this whole Ben Simmons stuff. I'm tired of Bradley Beal not doing anything on the Wizards. I want to see Bradley Beal win. Just go get Ben Simmons. Like I said, this is really unrealistic. It's not going to happen. I just didn't know what was going to happen with the Wizards. I didn't know what they can do. So, next, we got the Raptors. Again, need bigs. Go out there and get Mo Bamba. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. This is one of my favorites right here. Celtics. I think they're the 10th seed. Yeah, they're the 10th seed. Celtics. This is a player I didn't even know was still fucking playing basketball. The Marcus Smart point guard experience is just, it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. They get in too much close games and then they lose because they don't have a point guard to give them assists to slow the game down for the other guys. They don't have it, and Marcus Smart is just not that guy. I thought he was going to be that guy. He's not that guy. Go out there and get a guy that's proven to be that guy. A guy that a lot of people are forgetting about. And I don't blame them because I did too. Go out there and get Goran Dragic. He's on a hefty contract. I'm not going to lie. When you look at that trade, they have to trade a big part of their depth to get him. But I would do that because you're not really missing out on a lot. In this trade, you trading Goran Dragic to the Celtics. And in return, you get Aaron Nesmith, Romeo Langford, Juan Hernangomez, and Dennis Schroeder with a second-round pick. And you can easily flip some of those guys in that trade. I feel like for both teams, you're getting a really good return. Aaron Nesmith is a player that they already was talking about getting rid of. He will fit perfectly next to that young core that they're building in Toronto. They need more shooters. He's a shooter. Romeo Langford, an energy guy who can also score at sometimes. He will fit good with that team. But then you can trade other guys like Juan Hernangomez and Dennis Schroeder and get good packages in return. But for the Celtics, bro, You get a former Sixth Man of the Year. You get a former All-Star. A former almost champion. They would have won if he never got hurt. I'm going to be honest. They would have beat us if he never got hurt. But you get all that. You get a real point guard next to your two-man tandem and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They haven't really had a real point guard their whole career. Kyrie Irving, Kemba Walker, they are elite point guards, yes, but they are also elite scorers. They're not really point guards. They're just in a point guard body. Like, look at Kyrie right now. He's playing it too because they have a real point guard in James Harden. This time they're getting a real point guard in Goran Dragic who can do everything that they need, can slow the game down, can be a real point guard, put them in plays, set the plays up, set them assists, and he can also score when they need it. And I feel like that trade can propel them to something else, bro, because I feel like that's all they're missing. They have everything else. They have the defense. They have the elite scorers, elite young talent. They have all that. They just need a point guard. I know this is something that's just for right now because, like I said earlier, Goran Dragic is 35, making $20 million. I think next year is his last year in his contract, so it's not like you're going to be holding the contract for a long time. But I feel like that trade for them, it can help them out right now because the East is open. Even though I think the Bucks is the best team in the East is open. And I would just make that trade, bro. I will make that trade. Now, this next one is another favorite of mine. Knicks. The one thing that they need is a point guard, too. They just went out there and traded for Cam Reddish. I would have had him on this video for them if he didn't get traded last week. They went out and traded for Cam Reddish. But the one thing they need is a point guard that can score and that can facilitate. This player has been having a career year, an all-star year. He's not going to make it, but he's been having an all-star year. And this trade for both teams it's a really good trade. I have them traded for DeJounte Murray. Might be a little unrealistic, but I would love to trade because DeJounte is 24, 25, entering his prime, and he's going to be on the Spurs, and the Spurs just have nobody to put him in a position to win games. This Knicks team is going to come up. They need a point guard. All they would have to trade is Obi Toppin, who they're not playing anyway. They put all their chips in their basket with Julius Randle. So trade Obi Toppin, free him. Free Kemba Walker if you didn't want to play him at all. Tibbs, free him. And then you got to give him a first-round pick and a second-round pick. Even probably got to give him 2 first-round picks the way this boy's been playing. Averaging a triple-double the last few games. DeJounte Murray with this team, in the future, you have a DeJounte Murray, Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle lineup. You will find that center. This team will be nasty defensively. Automatically, if he was getting traded to the Knicks right now, he would be Coach Tibbs' favorite player. Because he does everything Tibbs loves. An elite defender with also elite rebounding, elite hustle, elite playmaking, and really good score. He will fit so perfect with this team because that's something that they're also missing. They're also missing a real point guard. I would love to see DeJounte Murray on this Knicks team, bro. That would just be so exciting, bro. That would shake up the NBA, too. Because, like I said, the East is open. This next trade is the Hawks. Probably the most disappointing team in the league. I didn't really know what they needed. I was like, I guess they need wing depth, even though they just traded fucking Cam Reddish. Robert Covington, only thing you got to trade is Lou Williams, Gorgie Dang, Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot, and the second-round pick. Just give Trae Young more defense around him, more shooting around him, more leadership around the team, and I guess it helps. Next, the Pacers. I'm not making up a trade for them. They don't need nobody. They need to trade everything. I'm not making up no trade. No. They trade everything. I hate the Pacers. Trade everything, bro. Trade everything. Next, this one I love. Pistons. They need shooters next to Cade. They need shooters next to Cade. The Killian Hayes-Cade thing is not working out well. Killian Hayes just, that was one of my favorite players coming out of his draft. I was so wrong. Yeah. They need shooters around Cade. This guy that they're trading for, Buddy Hield, he's on the trade market. That would just be a fun backcourt for a few years. You got Buddy Hield and Cade, bro. You get a scorer next to Cade, a player that he can rely on to shoot the ball, elite. And I feel like that would just be a fun backcourt, a really fun, exciting backcourt for this young Detroit team that's going to come up And that's just a player that you really need around Cade, a shoot first type player. And I feel like that fits perfectly. And then the last one for this video is the Magic. They don't need a player, they just need a pick. Trade Mo Bamba to the Mavericks for a 2022 first round pick? Yeah, for a 2022 first round pick. That's all they need. But yep, that's it for this video. Tomorrow we will be back again with the Western Conference teams and what they need to trade for. And then the day after that, I got a Joel Embiid breakdown I want to do. And then the day after that, I got a Heat video. So this is a really active, busy week. Shout out to y'all. If you hear the mic keep messing up, that's because this shit keeps falling. I got to fix it. But other than that, peace out.